Welcome back to Who Is on Magic Untapped as we conclude the story of Nicol Bolas, Magic the Gathering's most ruthless draconic planeswalker. I'm Barry White. Bolas, now with all of his schemes set in motion, is ready to attack the plane of Ravnica, but planar dominance is not his goal. Rather, it's only a distraction meant to lure in any and all planeswalkers who oppose him and seek to steal their powers to add to his own. I present to you the final chapter, War of the Spark.
Who is it? Who is this?
Who is it?
Who is this?
Who is it?
On Ravnica, Nicol Bolas inserts his own pawns as leaders of 5 of the plane's 10 guilds. Vraska for the Golgari, Dovin Bond for the Azorius, Ral Zarek for the Izzet, Domri Rod for the Gruul, and Kaya, who had been hired by Bolas to assassinate the Ghost Council, which heads up the Orzhov Syndicate, though they are not necessarily as loyal to Bolas as the dragon assumes. He also makes use of a covert agent from the Dimir Guild to influence the mind of Niv Mizzet, the founder of the Izzet Guild, to allow Zarek to turn on the planeswalker-hailing interplanar beacon the guild has been constructing and experimenting with. Like moths to a flame, planeswalkers fly into Ravnica one after another. Meanwhile, Tezzeret prepares the planar bridge, implanting it into his unnatural body to act as a host. Everything seemingly in place, Bolas makes his grand appearance on the plane and is quickly confronted by Niv Mizzet. The two dragons engage in a violent duel that destroys large portions of the city plain. As the fight went on, Niv Mizzet began to realize his eventual defeat. After attempting to crush Bolas with a literal city block, the draconic planeswalker arose, surrounded by a sphere of dark energy. In the end, all that remained of Niv Mizzet, the Firemind, was naught but a scattering of charred bones. By this time, dozens of planeswalkers heeded the beacon's call and apparated on Ravnica. Bolas introduces the ancient artifact he stole from Ixalan, the immortal sun, to the realm and traps them all on the plane, the device disallowing their departures. He then casts his Elder Spell, which allows him to harvest the sparks of other planeswalkers and absorb them into himself, thus regaining him the godlike status he had lost after the time of the Mending. And during all this, Bolas' eternal army has been flowing into the plane by way of the planar bridge, bringing chaos to Ravnica and splitting the attention of the planeswalkers between the army of the undead invaders and Bolas himself. Back on Amonkhet, the planeswalkers Dak Faden, Ob Nixilis, Karn, and Samut arrive, having traversed through Tezzeret's planar bridge the other way. Intent on shutting the device down, they quickly locate the planeswalker and attack him. Using a device created by Saheeli Ray, the device that allows Tezzeret to establish the portal explodes, and the planar bridge collapses in on itself. Instead of being angry about it, Tezzeret thanks the quartet, saying that once Bolas is out of the way, there will be nobody left powerful enough to stop his own plans. The Artificer then planeswalks away. Back in another part of Ravnica, Nessa Ravane and a number of representatives from all of the plane's guilds gather Niv Mizzet's charred remains, along with an item known as the Firemind Vessel that Ugin, Bolas' twin brother, had been keeping hidden and safe in the Meditation Realm. Using an ancient ritual, Niv Mizzet was reborn. Liliana Vess, forced into servitude, acts as the Dread Horde general in charge of Bolas' army. As the violence and chaos takes over Ravnica, she personally witnesses a young girl shield her younger brother from a collapsing wall, only for the pair to be crushed to death by the falling debris. Taking a moment to process, Vess decides to turn on her draconic overlord no matter the consequences. She instructs the Dread Horde to turn on Bolas. Seeing Vess's treachery, he makes good on his prior threat to the indebted necromancer. He invokes the magical clause in Vess's demonic contract, and the Dread Horde general begins to disintegrate. Her friend, Gideon Jura, ever the hero, grants her his invulnerability, allowing her to ultimately survive. The price, however, is that Jura himself dissolves away in her stead. He had sacrificed himself to save her. As Bolas has his talons between Jura sacrificing himself to save Vess and fending off the army of undead which is turned against him, he is able to slay the former Amonkhet god, Oketra, but does not notice that the reborn Niv-Mizzet is coming up from behind. Using the spear that the surviving Amonkhet god, Hazoret, had provided earlier, the Firemind runs Bolas through. Bontu, the last of the eternalized Amonkhet gods remaining in Ravnica, then viciously bites Bolas, absorbing every single spark contained within the dragon, including that of Bolas himself. Unable to contain so much power, Bontu explodes, the consumed sparks presumably going with him. Bolas now unconscious and a weakened shell of his former self, the gathered planeswalkers go for the final attack. From the meditation realm, Ugin telepathically reaches out to Jace and convinces him that he needs Bolas alive, in the event that Bolas' arrogance and love of contingency plans means that the dragon has a way yet again to cheat death. Jace conjures up an illusion of the former draconic planeswalker perishing where he lay, disintegrating into a pile of ash. The charade was all Ugin needed to appear on Ravnica unnoticed and retrieve his brother. The spirit dragon brings the broken Bolas back to the meditation realm. A few weeks later, Bolas would regain consciousness and, months later, begin to recuperate. That's when Ugin levels with his brother. He reveals to him that this plane, the meditation realm which Bolas arrogantly claimed as his own, had existed long before he had found it. He tells his brother that it had helped not just himself, but Niv-Mizzet as well to be reborn. He reveals that the gem that lay between Bolas' horns contains part of Ugin's very own soul, allowing the spirit dragon to always keep an eye on him and catalog his every move. Finally, Ugin informs his brother that due to his deeds and in his defeat, he had lost the use of his name. Nicol Bolas was no more. He is nameless, and will forever be imprisoned in the meditation realm. His own twin brother his jailer, until the now nameless dragon's natural death some 1,000 years later. Thus ends the story of a dragon without a name.
We hope you've enjoyed this season of Who Is on Magic Untapped. We'll be back in a few months with Season 3, showcasing the story of another of Magic the Gathering's iconic characters. I'm Barry White. Thank you so much for watching.